One time I actually had someone leave me a comment saying, "This isn't a Christmas village. Where's the snow?" That might be one thing that a lot of people don't know about me. I'm so excited about them. They're going to be so good. Discipleship is a huge part of my life. It is actually what I enjoy doing the most. Even more than Christmas.
That's right.
I know, look at that. I wasn't even paying attention. Like, what's a Christmas village? I had never even seen one in my entire life. But that's where I choose to spend my money in my village.
Beginning of last year, and I thought it was clickbait. I thought there's no way this is true. This can't be true. That you put a video out saying like thank you and goodbye, and that you were leaving the Christmas village scene. Apart from the Christmas contest, it's like after 5-6 years and 21,000 followers, 380 videos. What is it that made you decide that I've kind of had my fill now?
But I do want to share some news here. You're the first to hear. Hi there, I'm Miriam, and welcome to Miriam's Manor. So excuse the background, you guys. I am on vacation right now, but I wanted to release this video for you guys because I was interviewed by Peter Bell a couple of weeks ago from Videoville Villages. If you haven't heard of him, go to his YouTube channel and subscribe. I'll put his information down below. And I thought that if he had these questions, maybe some of you guys did, and you would like to hear the answers to them. So I hope you enjoy. Bye.
So Miriam, your YouTube channel name is Miriam's Manor, and how do you personally define the manner in which you bring to your community? Is it the etiquette or specific style or the way of living? What's the meaning behind your name?
That is a good question because I do get some confusion with this. With people have asked me like, your house really isn't an estate. And I'm like, of course it's not. It's not the manor like MANOR. It's manor, MANNER. It is my way of doing things. I am just sharing my passions and my hobbies and the way that I do them. And I'm just sharing them with everyone else. So it's in the manner in which I do things.
Okay. Well, you're very active, and that you're always posting lots of different videos where you're literally changing your home from like a completely different thing from one to the other. So how do you physically do all that transformation, going from everything Christmas to preparing for like your garden and the home decor without feeling burnt out?
Well, sometimes there is a little burnout, to be honest. I am human too. I think the biggest thing is I start early and I plan well. So when I am putting up all of my Christmas, I usually start in October. And that gives me the flexibility to decorate over the course of 3 to 4 weeks. And that way by Thanksgiving, it is completely done. And when I am transitioning, I try to do a good job of starting my breakdown towards the very beginning of January. So I typically start right after the new year, and I just kind of work through it slowly and give myself a goal. By like the end of January, everything in the house must be down, because one thing that I don't show on my channel, I don't show my whole house. And so there's a lot more Christmas than what you can see.
Wow, that's a lot of Christmas.
It's a lot of Christmas. So there's a lot to put away. And so each room takes time because there's Christmas pretty much in every single room in my house. So there's a lot to put away. And so it does take me several weeks to put things away as well as putting it up. I just am in the process right now. When you mentioned the garden, I am preparing for my spring and summer garden, because here in the desert of Arizona, we are already today like 90 degrees. So So
Wow.
yeah, we're having like a little bit of a hot spell come through. But last week, even normally, we were still in the high 70s. So February is the time when I start prepping my garden, getting rid of all of the things that didn't winter over during the winter. And so January, I'm wrapping up all of Christmas. And then by February is garden time. It's go time in the garden. And I am literally like one day away of finishing all of my cleanup and all of my planting and all of the things. So, yeah, it's just
Very organised.
planning my schedule out appropriately.
You say with the heat, that do you find it being difficult when you're focusing on a Christmas build or like a whole new village? When it's that hot in Arizona, like the desert state, does obviously it's a very different sort of Christmas to what we have here in the UK, where it's grey most of the time, but especially in December, it's not very warm at all, and it's I suppose it's got that more traditional Christmas feel. But of course, obviously in Arizona, it's warm all year round, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you think that differs to your planning for your layouts now with that sort of in mind? Because like I say, we've got a very different sort of surroundings to take inspiration from.
I think that it differs in a lot of good ways for me because one time I actually had someone leave me a comment saying, "This isn't a Christmas village. Where's the snow?" And my response was, "It is absolutely a Christmas village. It is not a snow village. And there's a difference."
That's a good
I
point.
don't live in a climate with snow, so not every single one of my villages every year is going to have snow in it. As a matter of fact, I think it was the one I did in 2 years ago, 2023. I did an Arizona Christmas. Everything is green, everything is blooming. Our winters is the time that our gardens thrive and they look
Uh,
the best. It's the time that we can grow all of those beautiful flowers that we can't normally grow during the summer months because they would scorch underneath the heat. So I literally created a Arizona Christmas village and I had not an ounce of snow anywhere in that entire village and I loved it. But on the flip side of that, when I want to be playful and fanciful and add snow, I'm able to do that because I just use my imagination. Or when I travel back to the Midwest in my nation and we have tons of snow everywhere, I just use that as inspiration. I take a lot of pictures of nature because I just am naturally drawn to obviously I love to garden. So I'm just drawn to nature in that way. And so it's very beautiful and captivating to me. So I just take a lot of pictures of snow on trees and snow banks and what does it look like with snow piled on the side of the roads and things like that. And I actually do use those pictures as my inspiration when I'm creating my different Christmas villages.
Funny enough, you saying it, watching your channel and seeing how you do that, they actually has inspired me in the past. So just taking more notice of the way that things are laid out, and so like, especially if you're walking through a park, and there's a nice park near where I work, and just taking that time to actually look, and you think, well, the path's not dead straight, and that it's actually quite a curved path, and that. Or, oh, look, there's a bench there, and that. Or there's a pond there, and that. Look at the amount of trees that are around there. And like you say, taking the time to actually observe your surroundings with the nature of that, it really does inspire the way that you can plan your village and be different. And instead of just having straight lines everywhere, to actually
Absolutely.
put a bit of something natural to it. And yeah, definitely say from watching your channel, that really did open my eyes and to stop and actually take that minute to look and think about what I was doing. That's yeah, that's definitely a Miriam's trait, and you can see that in the people that watch your videos, and you can definitely see the parts of your village, like in lots
Yeah.
of other people's village, that they go,
Yes.
I'm using taking that. But yeah, let's say the nature side of it is a big thing that you can see in your villages.
Thank
So with let's say the viewers of your channel, and that obviously they would know that you're a devoted mum, and that's sort of two kids, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, and one of which is a very talented writer, no less. And so, how's the book sales going?
They are doing well. Well, they've kind of hit a plateau because it's been now about, what is it, almost 2 years?
Yeah, I
since
think
it's
so.
been
Yeah,
published. And so we've not actually done any marketing for that book in a little bit of time. We have all been so busy, but book two is actually done.
okay.
Yes, it is written. We just have to go through the process, the publishing process again.
Yeah,
But it is completed. She has finished it. And so we're hoping to get book two out by the end of this year.
fantastic. So, obviously, so you're a very busy lady, and so what does a typical day entail for me? And when you're not sort of like doing your videos and that sort of just a general day, what does that entail?
A lot of ministry, actually. That might be one thing that a lot of people don't know about me unless they watched my exit video. Um,
Well, we
as
come to that in a bit.
Yeah. But I wake up earlier than anyone else in my house. I am the first to rise on purpose because I do spend time in prayer and in my Bible and in worship. And that is how I start my days most of the time. And then I'm waiting for my kiddos to get up next because it's time for me to see them off to school. And although they are home, I still make sure that we have our little morning routine and I see them off before they head upstairs and log on to class. But
Yeah, I know that one. My son, he quite, let's say, he comes in, he disappears, he's up in the games room, that's it. You don't see him till bedtime or dinner time, whichever comes first, really. But
and during those times that my kids are in school, I have an Etsy business that I sell Christmas Village platforms. So this is the time of year that I'm actually creating all of those things. So I get straight to work at home and I have 13 or 9 new designs this year that I have done already that I'm so excited about them. They're going to be so good. I cannot wait to release them. But so I get straight to work. I am also a real estate agent. So when
okay.
I have clients, I take breaks and stop for those things. And a typical day other than that, laundry,
I had no idea you were the
cleaning.
minister.
Hmm.
See, there's
I
definitely
wear many hats.
you're definitely packing it all in.
Yeah. And then I also, discipleship is a huge part of my life. And there are several women that I disciple. I actually have several different ministries that I teach Bible studies. And I also disciple women and do one-on-one discipleship and then also in group settings. So ministry is a big part of my life. And that is any of those things can be happening on any given day, every day of the week.
That is a very full day for sure. I mean, that's like you say, that's like 3 different jobs all rolled into one, isn't it? I mean, I can kind of relate with that, with the long hours and trying to pack everything in and that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, the discipleship sounds fantastic. That must be really fulfilling to you, and that to be able to do that.
It is. It is actually what I enjoy doing the most, even
Really.
more than Christmas. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that does say a lot. That does say
Yeah,
a lot.
because
So
Christmas is one of my favorites.
yeah, of course. I think who doesn't love Christmas? Who doesn't love Christmas? So with the Christmas villaging, when did you start? It's like, and what was your reason for doing it?
Oh, let me see. How long has I lived here? It has been 9 years. So it's actually been 10 years.
Well,
Hold on. Nine. This year will be 10 years since I
okay.
started villaging.
Well, we're putting big thinking here. It's 10-year anniversary of
I
villaging.
know. Look at that. I wasn't even paying attention. But my mom actually, the house that I live in now, my husband and I were having it built. Our other home had already sold. And so we were in transition. our house wasn't going to be done for another like 3 months, and we had to get out of the other ones for the new buyers. And so we stayed with my mom for those 3 months while we were in that transition. And she just brought it up one year and said, Miriam, do you want to do a Christmas village? And I was like, what's a Christmas village? I had never even seen one in my entire life. And so she
Wow.
pulls it up on YouTube, and I was like, oh, absolutely. We went out and we actually handmade a lot of our original Christmas village pieces, and we bought little bird houses that you can get at Michael's that look like houses, and just painted them and added lights to the inside of them. And we bought like maybe 2 or 3 pieces to start, but the rest of everything else was literally just handmade pieces, because it was like, it's so expensive to try to start a village from scratch and all brand new. And I didn't even know that you could buy these things used at the time. I found out later, and I bought several used from like the Goodwill. But yeah, just to start, we actually had a blast just painting our own buildings, and my mom is very creative as well. So like we get together with a project like that and we just have such a good time. And that was my first village.
Yeah, the origins of villaging is like what it was putzing originally, wasn't it? I think it brought over to America by the Dutch, I believe, and everything was like paper, and I believe that's how it started. You know, there's like paper buildings, and then let's say it's grown into what it's become today, and which is so it's nice that you've got that. That say the beginnings there is true to villaging, that right from, like you say, from handmade things.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said for those as well, because I mean, anybody can particularly go and buy a Lee Max product, and you could have a lot looking the same. Whereas if you're making it yourself, you've actually got that chance to put that bit of individuality to it and make it unique. And it doesn't, like I say, I think some of the best villages aren't necessarily those that have been bought and just, you know, laid out. They've actually been, like I say, handcrafted, and that, which is nice. I like that. That's good. Obviously, you mentioned your Mama Eve, and that we've seen her reluctantly on one of your videos before. So,
Yeah.
I was going to ask a question of who's the worst influence on the other for buying more products that are put into your village, but seeing as she started it, and I'm assuming that you're going to say that she's the worst influence.
She did start it. But here's the thing. Out of the two of us, I actually think that my mother has purchased more new buildings than I have. Although my collection is bigger. And only because I ended up becoming an official Lee Max influencer. So they do send me buildings every year to talk about and advertise, you know, and share with everyone which ones that I love, why I chose this building, and what are the details on it that I look for, all the goodies. And so I actually don't buy a ton of Christmas Village buildings.
We all tell ourselves that.
What was that?
We all tell ourselves that. It's like, it's not that many. Not that many. It's only another one.
No, really, because I do get a few buildings new every year. I have not actually purchased a building, I think, in like 3 years. But I do purchase figurines every year.
Yes.
That's where I choose to spend my money in my village, because I think that the figurines are so important to the village. There's nothing worse than having this big, beautiful, robust city and nobody in it. And so every year I make it a point to add to the population of Dreamy Falls. And I do try to add at least 10 is my goal. And some years I'm able to add more.
That's good. It's like you say. I think one of the two main things with villaging is you need trees, because that makes a big difference, and people. And like you say, nobody wants a city where nobody's living in it. It's a ghost town. You know, spooky town's a whole other range, and that you can.
Yeah.
But no, with Christmas, they say the stories that you can set up and that through that is I mean that's part of what makes a good village, I think. Now, when you're making your villages now, do you sort of focus on the people first or the architecture and how you're designing your village?
I actually begin with the layout. I do
Okay.
not even know what buildings I am using from year to year until I design the actual layout. Um, or I might have one inspiration piece that is actually driving the layout design. That has happened actually once. So twice. So sometimes it works that way, but my goal every year is to create a brand new layout every single year. And so that is always my focus first. So I have the overall idea in my head of what I want to do, what I want it to look like, and I sketch it out. And then before I begin to build it, then I'm looking at the space and I'm going, what buildings will best suit this scene? And if I have an oversized park one year, what all do I want to go in the park? Do I want it to be spacious and more just a play area? Or do I want little small, do I want food trucks in it? Do I want the Lee Max like Holiday in the Park bandstand playing in it? And so those types of things. Then once I know the vision of the layout, then I ask myself more detailed questions with the buildings and figurines.
Perfect. Okay. Um, so obviously, without limitations of a licensing and such, now, if you could have any building that's like real or fictional that's not been made yet, what would be your dream building? What would you love to have?
That is a great question. I think that I would love my church building because it's like my
Okay.
second home.
Yeah, of course, it's pretty new.
I think that that would be the coolest thing. That would be the most meaningful to me and sentimental because I am genuinely not. Um, I'm not sentimental or like buildings in architecture, although it's nice, it's not what moves me, and places don't move me like that. I
No.
I love experiences and I love nature. This is why you see a ton of nature all the time in my villages because I love just the beauty of God's creation. And so that's what I love to display. I literally display my heart. Like when anyone sees my village, it's literally my heart. It's what is in me in that time that I just want to express creatively. And so that's what I do.
That's a lovely way of putting it. That's yeah. I think that's a good thing. They say when people are making their villages like that, is that it does become an extension of them, an extension of their character on what they hold dear to them. And I think whether they do it wittingly or not, I think it does show within the work that they produce. But yeah, so the church, okay. I mean, there's quite a few churches to choose from, but like you say, one that's that personal to you with how devoted you are, so that would be a great piece,
I
no
would
doubt.
want my church home. Not
Yeah,
any church,
yeah.
because I put a church in every single village pretty much every year. But like, if I could get my church home made into a building, I think that's what I would choose.
We may have to have a chat about that. That might be something we can sort out. It's as we do a bit of bespoke work and things like that. So we'll have to have a look. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Um, to um, you mentioned a mountain building project that you did 6 years ago. I think that was in one of your other videos, and as your initial motivation for your channel. And looking back at that difficult build, what was the one mistake you say you made on that you was grateful that you made? What helped you out the most with that?
Hands down, the resin. And figuring out how to make it watertight. I was so mad. At the time when I was building it, I was so frustrated because I did everything that the person on YouTube said to do, and it didn't work. And I was like, this is crap. Why isn't this working?
Oh, oh dear.
So then I thought, okay, Miriam, what have you used before to waterproof something? And so then that got me thinking along the lines of like paper mache. And I'm like, what's stronger than paper mache? And then that's when, like, ding, 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 plaster. And so that's when I started plastering the inside of this styrofoam and then painting it out. But when I tell you, I think I spent like $80 on resin for one mountain. When the resin here, usually for a lake that size, it should have only cost me $17. But it kept leaking. And then it was leaking into the styrofoam. And then it would fall out the bottom. And I'm just like, ah, what do I do? And so that was very frustrating. And then not knowing that it like ruined the surface. I had it on a tablecloth and I didn't know that it was leaking through the bottom. I thought that it was just shrinking that much as it was drying because there was no evidence for the first couple of pours that I did that it was leaking out anywhere until I went to actually pick it up. And then the tablecloth underneath was completely destroyed. I could not get the resin out. It had already begun to solidify. And I was just like, dang, not only do I keep spending money on this water, on this resin, but now it's ruined my tablecloth and now I have to buy another tablecloth. And so that was a very expensive lesson in that build. But when I tell you that it made me get creative and figure out a solution,
Yeah.
that really helped. And then because I had all my family who was so intrigued with what I was doing and friends, they wanted to come over and learn how to do it too. And
Okay.
so we did that and COVID hit. And that was the birth of Miriam's Manor because people could no longer come to my house to learn how to make these things. And I wanted to share because I didn't want anybody else to make the same mistakes that I did and waste a ton of money the way that I did. And so I didn't have the slightest idea that it was going to turn into what it turned into. I genuinely thought it would just be my friends and my family who would watch my videos that were coming learning how to do it in the first place.
It's, I say, I mean, you make a good point there, as you're saying, like, it's obviously trying to prevent people from making the mistakes and that. But like where you made that mistake, and I think it's the same for, perhaps for anyone, you learn a lot more from your mistakes than you do your successes. The things that don't challenge you, you kind of forget because it just works. But the things that don't work, that sticks in your mind, and again, it forces you to be creative and look for those solutions. But and I think as well, once you've then overcome it, it's that much more. You're more proud of what you've done because it's like that was really difficult, and then I've had to learn these new skill sets. I've had to problem solve to get it, and it gives you more of a sense of pride of what you've accomplished, doesn't it? Where if you say it becomes easy, then there's no challenge, is there? And that, but no,
Yeah.
that's
I was glad that I figured it out, but I'm not going to lie. I was very frustrated that it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. And so
course.
that prompted me, I'm making another one. And this time, because I know what to do, I'm not going to make the same mistake. And so I made another mountain faster than I probably would have had I not made the mistakes because I wanted to see if I did all of these steps up front, if it truly would prevent everything. And it did. So that was more exciting for me as like the second one.
Yeah, it's only when it all goes right, and it's like I've learned this, I've put it into place, and that wasn't a fluke. I've nailed it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
No, you would have saved a load of us. There's that trouble because I guarantee you we would have all been in that same situation. And if, like I say, we're in tablecloths and and not knowing what to do. Um, Initially, like you said with your channel, it came out during COVID times, and it was a mix of. I think your intro stated that it was a mix of three things. So it was gardening, home decor, and of course Christmas. Now, the when you look back now, like some of those early videos, the home decor and the gardening are there, a couple of hundred views and everything, but then the Christmas ones are like way up there, like in the thousands, and they're like real big numbers. Did that happen like straight away, or did that become more organic, for the Christmas videos surging in views as your channel grew and people got to know you? Or was Christmas just a hit to
No,
start?
yes, my channel launched May of 2020. By November, I had already released a few Christmas videos and I had gotten monetized that fast in 6 months because of those Christmas videos. As soon as I started releasing what I was doing for Christmas, that's what launched everything. People
Oh,
just liked the way I designed, they loved the village. And that's what really made my channel grow quickly. And I realized that's what people really want to see from me. Although I do these other things, that's not why people come to my channel. Even the people who do watch like my gardening and my home decor when I do post them, those are people who just like following me still for Christmas and they just happen to have the same hobbies.
sure. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so they'll watch those too, but very rarely do I get someone that actually communicates it to me anyway. Let me say that.
Oh,
Very
okay.
rarely because I read every single comment. And most of the times it's people who follow me for Christmas and they just watch the rest of what I do also. It's not like I have people that have commented me and said they watch my home decor, but they don't watch my Christmas. So,
Right. It's more, as I say, more driven by the Christmas side of things. But I think, to say, as great as your like Christmas videos are and the things that you create now, I think a lot of it does come down to you because you, like I say, you read all those comments and like there's a probably half of them are complimenting you. And the fact that it's like, you've just got this knack of being able to look warmly into the camera, always speaking with a smile all the time, and I think everybody just likes you. And so watching the Christmas things, that's that's the perfect combination of that. But I say you come across so well, and I think everyone just feels so relaxed when watching you, and it's like, oh well, this person's not like showing off. They're not sort of being extreme, and they're not doing things that feels unnatural. This person's just being genuine, being themselves, and it makes it just it's so easy to follow and that nice and calm. And I think that's why you've got so many followers to your channel. Is you, and that is like the content's great, but you make the difference. I really believe that.
thank you so much. That is so sweet. Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure. It's so um so obviously with your channel now, you've done a series that connects like the biblical principles to gardening, and how like the patience that you have to have for gardening, and has any of that helped you becoming a YouTuber? Because YouTube sort of changes pretty rapidly, and it's quite a fast sort of paced world and such. Does any of the gardening skills that you've learned, does that help you sort of like channel some sort of inner peace or anything like that when you're trying to keep up with YouTube?
Actually, gardening is, you're absolutely right in that because it's such a peaceful thing for me that it definitely counteracts a little bit of the busyness of YouTube. I think people who do not create content underestimate the amount of work that goes into keeping an active channel. And when I was actively making 2 to 3 videos a week, that was a solid 25 to 30 hours a week. And because you're actually building something along the way that is going to be a part of that video. So I'm including like the entire project time also. But That's a lot of time to spend in making something, showing how to make it, walking people through it. If I were to do it on my own, I could get it done like this. But me having to slow down, bring you guys in close, show you exactly what I'm working on, trying to show you the details, that takes so much time. And reshooting the same instruction when I feel like I don't know if that was clear enough. I don't know if I communicated that well. And reshooting it so that what I am trying to teach actually is able to be learned. And so it's a process, and gardening is the 100% complete opposite for me. There's no pressure, there's no timeline, there's no expectation. There's just peace. There's just me with my trowel and my hands in the dirt. And and it's where I love to be, especially this time of year when the weather is so beautiful and it's just nice to be outside. Oh my gosh, I am spending hours in my garden right now. I am outside in my garden a solid like 3 to 4 hours a day. Just
Wow. I suppose if you got the sunlight for it, that helps, and that is that you definitely make hay while the sun shines as such. But yeah, no, I think say with gardening, I can see that. Like you say, obviously it's time consuming, but it also gives you that chance. I suppose like we were talking earlier about burnout, like to be able to bring it down, to be able to then move forward, and they give your mind time to just relax a bit, really. So I think the first video I saw of yours was 20, yeah, it was Christmas 2021, and it was how to build the Snow Village mountain, and and I didn't really know where to start, and it was like, oh, I'm going to need some help on this. I've never been like an arts and crafty sort of person, and and you've now become the master of foam carving. It's obviously like with Hot Wire Foam Factory and that they're all in on you because you are the best. It's what is the one like non-traditional tool that you have, or think that every villager should have to be able to help them like, make their village?
have it right here because I was hoping we could talk about it. But this is a sculpting tool from
Yep.
Hot Wire Foam Factory. Now, this baby, I believe everybody should have. They do have other sculpting tools from other brands. However, they don't have an adjustable neck that will allow you to move the wire. They typically are stuck like this and just like a straight line. That's no good. The amount of
I'm bent out of shape now because I squeezed it.
yeah, but then you might potentially break it if it doesn't just automatically have an adjustable neck. And so this is my absolute all-time favorite tool from Hot Wire Foam Factory. The versatility in this tool with what you can create is just like it. I don't want to say endless because that wouldn't be right, but there's just so many different things that you can do with this tool. And you can adjust the sizes within the same build. You don't want every single cutout to be the exact same shape, the exact same size. That doesn't bring any realism to the overall finished look of what you're building. But when you can carve in little tiny pieces and you can bend that neck and the wire gets that tiny and you can make little small divots and then widen it and make them a little bit bigger. I love this tool. So I would say that everyone should make the investment in a Hot Wire Foam Factory sculpting tool. And if you guys don't have Hot Wire Foam Factory in the UK, then maybe something equivalent with an adjustable neck like that.
Well, that was, let's see, as soon as you went like that, and I see it was moving, my eyes were literally drawn straight to that. It's like, what is that? I've never seen that before. is that would be such a handy tool. That I will have to look on Amazon in a minute to see if they got one, and because I need one now. But that is such a novel idea. I mean, again, it's the simple things that work that make things, sort of like essential, really. Because, like you say, I suppose unless you know, but I've never seen one of those. But that's fantastic.
Price
It's,
point isn't expensive at all. I want to say it. Now, I haven't priced it since everything has gone up, but
yeah,
it was like $32 USD.
yeah, that's about £25, and that's like in the UK. That's not a lot of money, not for a tool that's you're going to use like for hours and hours and hours when you're doing a
Yeah.
video. That's going to pay for itself in a year easily. That's I don't know, yeah, I've got to have a look for one of them definitely. Um, Prestige contests, obviously that big hit on your channel, and I think that was I think was out. I watched that video sort of how you did the ballot and everything like that, and then when I see that you was doing the contest, and I think that was the second year that you had been doing it. I hadn't known about the first one at that point because I started. Well, I got my first Limax piece in 2021 as a Christmas present, and I said to my wife then, I said, "You have no idea what you've just started." I said, "I've been telling you for years." She kept saying, "I'll get one, get one." I said, "It won't be one." I said, "Like you'll regret it." But yeah, she did. She regrets it now, bless her. But I think when I was watching in 2022, like I say, I come across the Christmas contest. I was like, "Yeah, right, I'm all in on this. I've got to have a go at this." It's What's the most surprising thing you've learned, and that when you've been watching all the different entries come in, and that what surprised you the most from what people have created?
I I can't even begin to express how much I love the mind and the creativity of everyone and what everyone like dreams up and then brings to life. I have seen some of the most amazing waterfalls. Monica Thulks, actually, or Thulkes, I think is how you say your last name, from Minnesota. She did a waterfall one year, and I was like, Monica, I need to know
That was the
exactly.
wasn't it that year? I believe. Was it the
Um,
art?
I
Think
think
it
it was
was.
2022, that same Christmas Village contest year, because she entered and won that year.
Yeah. I mean, it was colossal, wasn't it? It was amazing. It's,
Yes. And it was
really good.
stunning. One of my other members, Julie, she used doll houses and made her own buildings, Christmas Village buildings, from smaller doll houses. And it was so cute. She did this, it was kind of like an outdoor restaurant scene, but you could see like the inside of the restaurant, and she made it like an outdoor courtyard area for them to dine. I thought that was just so beautiful. And there have been so many things like the train tunnels and the bridges for the trains are always super impressive to me, because the balance that you have to exact to get that, to keep that train stable and not for it to derail, where you have to keep it level and or sloping it just right, and then timing the speed of your train around the curves and slopes so it doesn't derail. Like, people who don't do this don't understand like the hours that just go into just that. So when I am watching this, like, I'm watching it with that in mind, going, oh my gosh, I wonder how much time they spent making that tunnel just right, making that train bridge just right. And I've seen elevators. Robin Wright, a couple of years ago, did an elevator in one of his Christmas villages. Oh, and then he knows me. He knows me so well that he put a parterre garden. Now, it wasn't really a parterre, but he did a beautiful formal garden scene in his last Christmas village this year.
Yeah.
And as soon as I opened the video, I went, it just spoke to my whole heart because I love formal gardens. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so dreamy. I just want to take a walk in it. And it was just so beautiful that it just really captivated me. And so there's so many amazing things that people do, but I think the thing that I love seeing the most is how creative people are. But one of the things that shocked me the most is truly how much of an influence I have created in this space. You know, when you just do what you do, you don't realize how much you're rubbing off on other people. But like you said earlier, when I watch these videos, it makes me feel like a proud mom inside because I'm like, oh, look, they did that.
I can spot a Miriam's waterfall from a mile away. It's like, I look at it, it's like, that's a Miriam and a waterfall. That one is. I can see it in it. It's like you see, you've definitely touched and inspired so many people doing it. You are the go-to. And I've seen in the comments on Facebook as well. If anyone new comes into it, like one of the many Facebook groups that I'm in, and they always say like, "Oh, I'm not sure how to do something in that. Can anyone help me?" Majority will point them in your direction. It's like, oh, on YouTube, Miriam's
Really?
oh yeah, are you not in any of the Facebook group? You don't see in that. It's like,
No, I am not on Facebook.
oh, okay. Well, that would explain that then.
I have a Facebook that I created. I have a Miriam's Manor Facebook, but my members asked me to create it because they wanted to be able to show their villages to each other.
Yeah.
I think I've posted one video on that Facebook account. Wait, no, I take that back. More have posted to it because I have posted on Instagram, and Instagram will automatically share it to Facebook.
Yeah.
But I've actually only gone on to Facebook and posted one video because I'm just not on social media like that. I'm not on social media like period in my life like that.
A good thing. Yeah, it's. I try not to be in it. Like I've got my own private accounts, and obviously I've got my Videoville Villages accounts, and I kind of just leave it on that because if it's not village related, really, I've not really got the time. Or better 3D printers, and I'm surrounded by 3D printers. There's always room for one more, but it's yeah, and I mean, and that's Robin's fault. That I definitely like when I see was it the 2022 Christmas video Robin did the Polar Express.
I was just going to say the Polar Express one, yeah.
First video that pops up on there, and he said an all bottom there like 3D printed and that like CAD design 3D printed. And I was like, and I love the Polar Express, and I see that, and I was like, wow, you know that. It's like right, that's what I need to learn how to do. I need to learn how to do this and that. And then of course, like it turns out to be Robin. And I mean, so you mentioned Robin so much on your channel, and he's kind of like your right hand man, isn't he? He's like, how did that relationship come about?
Robin was actually he was watching one of my videos one year. The very first year that I started, actually. And it was the very first Christmas Village, some of the very first Christmas Village videos that I actually released that year. And he sent me a long email. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So I just responded to him. And he was so shocked that I emailed him back. And I was like, you took the time to send me such a beautiful email. Of course, I'm going to respond back. And that just started our communication and we were able to share our passion and our love for Christmas villaging together. And we would email each other throughout the year and like ask, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so we just kind of started checking in on each other throughout the year. And he actually lives in Maryland. Well, at the time, my mother-in-law lived in Virginia. So we would go out there, especially back then, like once or twice a year to visit family. And so I started doing these meetups as I was traveling and just meeting my people who were members, though. I didn't open it up to everybody, but I would announce it to my members when I would do like my members only live streams. And I would say, hey, I'm going to be in this city. Do any of you live in Dallas? Do any of you live in Virginia? And I was in Virginia, but the drive for him was only, I want to say like 30 or 45 minutes. And so he
Okay.
drove over. Yeah.
Well,
He drove and we met, and there was a group of like 12 of us that day
yeah.
at a restaurant, and we just had a blast and were able to meet and laugh and talk and love on each other finally in person and not just through email. And we shared a beautiful meal together. And so it just came to be that whenever I was there, I'd send out messages, hey, who I'm going to be here these days. Who can meet me? Can you meet for lunch? And so we just meet up for lunch. And that's how it all started. But it was just through emails. And he was so kind because he was actually the one saying, you're doing a lot. How can I help? I know
Wow.
that you're not big with like technology because I'm not. And
Has he got your 3D printing yet? Because
not
I
yet.
know.
Like I'm this close, but not quite. But he just offered one year, can I make the rules sheets for you? And I was like, absolutely. And he I didn't give him like any stipulations. I said, do what you do. And they just sent it to me. And now I sent him like the rules that I wanted on there. But so far as like the creative design,
Yeah.
it's all him. And he sent it to me and I just loved it. And he literally does it for me every single year now. So I'll update him on the categories, on feedback from the judges to include any new rules that we're going to add. And he gets it all designed and updated and he'll send it over to me.
That's it. What a good man to have. And bit lurking behind here. And if you're lucky enough to win one of the contests, you get one of these with a courtesy of Robin. And
Yeah.
bless him. It came in the post and it's like, wow. It's like, and like I say, from my 3D printing journey, and that was literally inspired by Robin. To win this and for it to be made by Robin that meant so much to me as well. And that's it's one day I will. I know everyone said about getting like when's Robin going to have his YouTube channel, and they sort of keep trying to sort of pressure him to have a go in that. But I would say I'd love to chat with him one day because I think he's got a great mind and he's clearly a very talented person, and that is I would love to have a chat with him.
You know, I think he would be thrilled to have a chat with you, even if he doesn't have a channel. I think that he would totally be willing to do an interview.
I'll have to try and set that up for that. It's like even if
I'll
it was in
ask him if
private, if
I
you
can
want to do it.
share. I'll ask him if I can share his email address with you.
Oh,
And if
great!
he
And
says yes, I'll send it over to you, and then you guys can connect.
his address was on the box of that. He's lucky I didn't go and stalk him and that over in Maryland. And that it's like I've got his address. I can go and find him. I can chat.
Yeah.
It's obviously like we're saying about the where he does all the sheets in different categories. The first year that you did them, you'd had the Villager at Shortnair, which is obviously the big one, the Artistry Award, Oh Little Town, and it's Carnival Time, which came back last year for the first time for a while. Is along with obviously the new category of Christmas on the Rails. Do you think we're going to see any new categories this year?
I'm hoping so, but I'm not quite sure yet. I
Okay.
had so much fun with Christmas on the Rails, and I thought it was exciting to add a fresh category to the Christmas Village contest. And because for a couple of years, we just had the exact same three every single
Yeah.
year. And I wanted to give the model railroaders an opportunity to join, even though we didn't get a ton of model railroaders this year. But I would like to target that audience this coming year because I do think I'm bringing back Christmas on the Rails again. And congratulations on your first place win for Christmas on the Rails. Your category, your village was so clean. Your
Really?
video was well put together. And your
Finally getting the hang of it.
and your mall, the little, what do you call it? The like
Oh, the
subway
station.
mall?
Yeah. It was kind of based on Victoria train station in London. Is where all the trains put in. There's an upstairs part in that which is I think it's called Victoria Plaza or Victoria Place. I can't remember now. And it was basically like a retail outlet that was there, and then above that was a food court. And when I was designing, well, initially in it, because I just had this box that the castle was going to stand on, and I thought, oh well, I could because again I was so late coming up with a plan. Even I was still designing as I was building, and I never normally do that. But then I thought, oh well, I can turn this box basically this thing to elevate the castle. I can make that a tunnel, and it's like, oh, now I could make that a station, and it's like, oh, I could put this whole internal scene, and then once I got that idea in my head, I couldn't get it out of my head, and it's like, I'm going to have to do this now.
And
As I was doing
this, because I can tell you, the judges' feedback, they absolutely loved that. They
I did
loved
well,
that feature of your village.
Oh,
Oh, it was amazing. And when I saw it, I went, oh, no, he didn't. I literally said that out and I was like, no, he didn't. He put a whole train mall station within his train. It was so well done. It
thank you.
was so well thought out, and I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful.
I honestly thought I'd wasted 2 weeks of my life. I thought I've done this and nobody's going to see it because it's literally like you have to look through the windows to then to be able to see the scene. And I thought, but that's like, even though I knew the work that was going to be put into it, I couldn't talk myself out of it because I know it was there. And I always try and put something like that in my villages that even if you can't see it, it's happening behind it. Like one of the things I had, I think it was one of the tram tunnels, but unfortunately I never captured it on video. But as you went through on the tram, if there was a camera on there looking, it had like different, like almost like Easter egg sort of things inside of the tunnels, and that pointing to the name of what the next village was going to be that year. But like I said, nobody could see it, but I knew it was in there. But
Yeah.
it's I mean, with the categories, I don't know if you saw any of the videos where like people are using AI now to bring the villages to life. It's I think via like Gronk and a few others. And that. Do you reckon that'd be a category at some point? Like,
Listen, I saw your video and I was like, again, no, he didn't. Make his little figurines come to life. I'm so going to do that. It doesn't even need to be a separate category. I think that would be awesome to see in whatever category people enter. And just even if it's not the whole village, but it's just a special little scene to do. Listen, when I tell you you have inspired me to do this, I am going to do it for my village this year. You will see my village be animated in my, I'm going to highlight my most favorite scenes, and I want to do that in my village. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
the AI is going to be allowed for this year, then okay, and that's going to be game on. That's going to make some really interesting videos. That's the judges have got a much harder job already. Bless you.
Oh yeah, like the pressure's on judges. Sorry.
You've got, I think, is it 4 judges? Is it 4 judges?
I go back and forth between 3 and 4. So I have like the same steady 3, and then sometimes a 4th is able to join every now and again.
I mean, fair play to them. And I mean, it's not. I mean, I suppose some of us, like myself, and that we can sit there for literally tens of hours watching like as much Christmas Village content as we can, and that. But to do that as a judge, and to have to go back over it and over it and over it, and trying to find those little minute details, and then sort of like breaking it all down. I mean, fair play to them, because that's not an easy job, and it must be so difficult once you've seen 60 different villages now to be able to come up with a way of being able to do it consistently when you're trying to judge them. And that, I mean, I don't know how they do it. Do they have like a set criteria that they have to score by?
Yes. So I do create questions for each category. And with those questions, they can rate it from like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 for each question on how well they performed with this particular question. But I that's as far as I am involved in that process. The judges have complete autonomy to exclude someone who they feel did not follow the rules. They have autonomy to give them a 0 in their score if they absolutely did not follow any of the rules, because I make it very clear, if you don't follow the rules, you're getting disqualified in a lot of these categories. I may still show your video, but you're actually just disqualified. So and they know that, and I give them full autonomy. If you know the rules, if people didn't follow them, you don't have to judge it. You don't have to judge that video. And so they don't, or they do sometimes. But it's up to them. They handle it all. They go through the process. They take notes on each contestant so that they can remember even like what they did well, what were the things that they could have done better. And then from there, when they're breaking it down to like their final ones, they're going through it again, looking at it from like their top 10 and then their top 5. And they're literally critiquing it over and over and over again. And like you said, looking for the most minute details, because some of these villages are so amazing that it's genuinely hard to pick one person. Yeah. So they're having to look at some of the most, you want to know how detailed they're getting? one submission, her village was amazing. She had a wavy road. Her road was not glued down all the way, and it was a little lumpy in her road. That was a little bit of a ding against her that year. But that's how detailed they're getting, because that's how good the submissions are, that they have to look to even the most minute detail to see what was out of place. When you have villages that don't appear at face value when you first are looking at it, that anything is wrong. But then when you break it down and you study it and you see the little nuances, oh, this person had a cord showing and the others didn't have any cords showing. This person, their roads were wavy. And so just little things like that is how they're really having to separate winners.
Doing the categories out of 10, say, like if there are awarding points for this, is it a case of, is that realism, is that like one category, like functionality, is that another one, let's make sure all the buildings are working, lights are on, etc.
Yeah.
Is that all part of it? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Those are all questions that are on the on their sheets that they have to fill out. And even crooked trees.
Okay.
Wow. Is your landscape up the way that it should be? And if it's not supposed to be, because some people have fallen trees in their village, and you could tell they did that on purpose. Yeah. And it was a part of the design. But if you have a tree that's just kind of like leaning off to the side because you might have knocked it over when you were shooting your video and didn't see it to straighten it back up, or realism is huge. How realistic were you able to make this village? Did you leave room for a building with a train track? Like little things. They're looking at it with the utmost attention to detail. And so all of those little things matter when the judges are going through.
That's fantastic. That's good to know, like say, how detailed it is, then, because it's got to be so difficult to be able to judge it. And like you say, I always wondered, it's like, well, what is it exactly they're looking for in that? And of course, sort of when you're doing it to enter the contest, if you've got that in mind of how you're trying to, like, if you're trying to win it, it's so you always wonder what they're looking for. So that's interesting to know exactly what fine details they go to. I feel like I think it was beginning of last year, and I thought it was clickbait. I thought there's no way this is true. This can't be true. That you put a video out saying like thank you and goodbye, and that you were leaving the Christmas village scene. Apart from the Christmas contest, it's like after, was it 5 6 years and 21,000 followers, 380 videos. What is it that made you decide that I've kind of had my fill now? It's
Well, it was actually an assignment that the Lord had given me to do. And there was
okay.
no way that I had the time to do both. And so I had to give up one for the sake of the other. But it was just indefinitely. It was just this open ended thing where I might be able to circle back to it at some point, but it won't be this year for sure. Like I knew all of 2025 was out of the picture, but I do want to share some news here. You're the first to hear. I am actually considering coming back this year.
Yes, please. It's like literally. I mean, again, you would have seen on the comments and that everyone was like, "Couldn't believe it." It's not. No, that it's like there's no way that you've finished all every video. We have not got a video on everything that you need to have a video for. There is still room for that, like for you to put more content into your channel that other than the thing. And I think that's regardless of whether we know how to do it or not, we just enjoy watching you do it. It's so yeah. If you're coming back, that's fantastic news. That's really really good.
Well, I
It's,
shouldn't say maybe. I know that I am coming back. I just don't know how often yet. I
okay.
don't know if I'll be able to keep up with the once a week schedule like I was doing right before I stopped, but I might be able to at least do like once a month and
Cool.
share what I'm doing. Um, Even what I'm doing with the Etsy Christmas Village stuff, what I'm doing with my own Christmas Village and walking everyone through same thing, still tutorials of just what I'm building for me, and I'll just be able to share it with you all.
That'd be fantastic. I say we would all love to have you back. And like I say, you got 21,000 subscribers. I don't know of another YouTube like Christmas Village channel that's got more. You quite possibly are the biggest one. So it's like
Your audio just went out.
yeah, like I say, your channel, 21,000 subscribers. I don't know another Christmas Village channel that's got that many. It's I believe you are like the biggest channel, and the fact that it was a year ago that you said you was leaving. Nobody's leaving the channel. They're still hanging in there.
I
They're
know.
like, no, it's
You
coming
want
back. They're
You
like,
want to know what's so awesome? When I told my members, because if you are a member of my channel and not just a subscriber, I actually was doing Zoom calls with my members and we would all like chat face to face, like you and I are doing. And they all were like, "We're not going anywhere, Miriam. You're coming back." And I'm like, "You guys, I really don't know if I'm coming back." And half of them stayed. I think I had, at the time when I left, I had just over 100 members, and
okay.
half still today remained. And I just could not believe it. I just felt so blessed and so fortunate to have all of these beautiful people in my life, and they still just wanted to support me, and I was just so grateful for that. So I'm so excited to be able to tell them that, you guys, I'm coming back.
That's great news. That's great news. And thank you for making it here as well. I appreciate that. But yeah, you'll say you're going to have a lot of people very happy that you're coming back, and that's fantastic news. So I mean, obviously you were saying like all the other things that you're doing as well. And it's like the Etsy side of the shop that's obviously that's still going strong. And is it still open at the moment, and people can pre-order, or are they got to wait and see as it sort of drip fed through?
I do take custom orders, and this is the time of year that I actually do take custom orders for my Etsy shop. From January until October 1st is my cutoff. And I'm thinking about even making it September, because last year I took so many custom orders towards the end of last year that I didn't end up creating my own village last year for the first time in 9 years. And so, but I made a lot of other people's dreams come true. And so that was worth it. And I had two of my largest custom orders come through where I literally created for two different people their entire village. And so that type of project, like the creator in me couldn't pass it up because I'm like, you're giving me free reign to design this thing. Like they gave me their input of what they wanted, of course. And then, but you're gonna let me design it and do all these little finishes that I want to do. I was like, oh gosh, yes, I'm doing it. And I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to be able to do that. And so both of those people loved their villages and sent me pictures and videos and all of the wonderful things. So that was really exciting for me. But actually, this is the time of year that I am working on my Etsy builds. From January to the end of March, I work on all of my Christmas village builds for the entire year. I pre make about 50 to 70 pieces every single year. And yeah, it is. It's a ton. And I'm about halfway through. I have 9 different designs so far this year, which is the most I have ever done. I think the most I've ever done outside of that was 8, but I normally only do like 5 designs and I'll do like 10 in each design style.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm doing something new this year with Etsy, the Christmas Village builds, I'm making some larger pieces because what I'm noticing is I have a ton of people who contact me for custom work because they want that extra mile detail. And so I'm making a lot of those really special pieces that people normally custom order to see if people want to just purchase them from what I already have made in this year's line. And so I actually have them, several of them done. I have about 12 of them done that I will be posting on Etsy within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, awesome.
So it'll be really soon.
Yeah, yeah, we'll look out for that. Was on your like Etsy site, was it always intended to be Christmas bases, or did you start it with a different idea in mind?
I wanted it to be Christmas Village bases, but I also was doing wreaths at the time too because again, and just my personal, all of this is birthed from what I'm just naturally doing. I make my own fall, spring, and Christmas wreaths every single year, and I have people coming to me when they come to my house. Miriam, did you make this? Yeah. Can you make me one? I'll pay you. This is how all of this stuff always ends up happening. All my little like side hustles. It just starts off with enough people asking me, can you make me one? You need to sell these. And so I started making a lot of Christmas Village wreaths, or not Christmas Village wreaths, Christmas wreaths, spring wreaths. But what I noticed is on Etsy, although they sell big in my personal life, they don't sell big on my shop because I think people just overall know my shop just for Christmas villages. And that is the majority of what I sell on my Christmas, on my Etsy shop.
It certainly makes sense to lean into that, doesn't it? It's like I know from what I originally started making, and it was like going to be with like houses with screens in, so like you could upload like so like if you filmed your Christmas morning and such, where everyone's opening the presents, and you could actually put that within the house and have it as an internal scene. And I thought that would be a great way to have a keepsake of like a family event sort of thing forever, like within your village, so you could actually put your family in your village. And then I think I made a Blockbuster store for myself that to go into my village one year, and none of the attention was on what I was trying to make, like to sell. Everything was on the Blockbuster store. Everyone, I want a Blockbuster store. I want a Blockbuster. So sometimes, it's like you come up with an idea, but then it just goes a different way, and it's led by, like I say, what the people want, isn't it? Like your return to YouTube. it's,
Well, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I did miss it. And I didn't think that I would miss it as much as I did, honestly. That was a bit of a surprise. But I've built relationships with several people, and I still talk to them. Don't get me wrong, like we still chat just because we have each other's personal information, but we don't chat as often because they would comment me every single time I would drop a video, or they email me. And some of us are on like group messages, and so they shoot me a message every single time. And now we just don't hear from each other that much, and not that we're not obviously thinking about each other and that we don't care for one another, but it's just one of those things where that was like the glue and that was the hub. So, and that's not the case for everyone, of course. Like I understand there's so many people who watch that I genuinely don't know. There are so many people that I have met a person that was like, I've never commented you, but I love you. And I was like, why did you message me then? Why have you been in hiding this whole time?
It's
And
the thing, I suppose.
huh?
That's the thing, I suppose. Like, say, if people watch the videos, don't they? And then it's like, oh, well, there's 400 comments that they're not going to see mine, and that is sometimes people don't speak out. I mean, I'm quite lucky that I've got a few that said like every video I do, they write the loveliest comments and that like really insightful views and that, and you read and it gives you a different perspective, and it's like, wow, it's great to have that sort of like that buzz, because they're into that the thing that you love just as much as you are, and that, and it's
Absolutely.
lovely to hear people. It's because it's not everybody in your natural life, and that I think I've got one friend at work who's he blames me. He had Lee Max pieces before, and he was already sort of like into Christmas Villaging and that, but apparently not to the scale it is now, and that's all my fault apparently. But I've only got that one person at work that I can speak to, and sort of we come in, it's like, have you seen that this is on sale? Have you seen that? And but other than that, like you say, it doesn't really extend to like for me certainly into the real world. And that if I
Yeah.
want those conversations, you have to kind of go online. And so it's great when you have those people that do message you and that, and like you say, you're all doing the same thing. We all got that same passion for it, and
Yes.
it's one of the best things about Christmas Villaging, I think, as well, that there's never any ego, there's never any bravado in it. It's like the nicest people in the world in it, because
Absolutely.
everybody that is respectful for what everyone else does, and like an absolutely fantastic group in that. I'm so glad that, I mean, because I've done different things before when I was into like collecting Funko Pops. I've done it when I was into video games and stuff. That society is such that you don't always get the best of people, but
Mm.
with Christmas Villaging, totally different.
Yeah.
The nicest people ever. But I think that, again, there's a level of maturity to it. We're all a little bit more grown up, shall we say? I think that's probably the politest way of putting it. But,
You can see,
yeah,
we usually have some gray.
I just showed mine off earlier. Dear. So, obviously, you broke the news that you are coming back, even if it is sort of like, a bit at a time and that. What do you reckon like holds the future for Miriam and that? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years? What do you think you're going to be doing? What new ventures? Obviously, you've had the YouTube sort of like where you've gone off and done the Surrendered Woman, and that is, are you going to come back more to that? Going to embellish that more, or are you going to go a different route altogether?
The Surrendered Woman will absolutely stay active. And I started a second series after I finished the James Bible study. I started teaching before I took the break on the fruits of the Spirit. And so I'm going to finish that up. But I will absolutely be back on that channel. That is an assignment. So that's not even optional. I've just been taking a little bit of a break because after my women's conference, I hosted a women's conference last October.
Wow.
And it was so much work. I just needed a few months off and I needed a break. And I probably should have made an announcement, but I didn't because, again, I don't do social media like that. But yeah, so both are going to be active, which is why I don't know how much content I'll be able to produce for Miriam's Manor because the surrendered woman is still very much going to be the primary focus, but I should have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule this year to pick up Miriam's Manor a bit. But so far as what the future holds, I am actually going to expand my Christmas shop. So my Etsy page, I'm just going to turn it into just a Christmas shop, but I want to be able to offer more because I love Christmas decor. And every single year when I put one of my trees together and I post a video of it, everyone without fail, Miriam, where did you get that? How can I buy it? I want to recreate that exact same tree. People will email me and send me pictures of their recreated versions of my trees. And so I want to be able to offer the things that I am doing this current year to everyone else. And so that is something that I am actually working on this year. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to bring that dream to fruition for this Christmas season. If not this year, it will definitely be next year.
A lady with a plan. It's, I would look forward to that. It's, I say, if it's anything like as half as good as the Christmas base is, it's going to be a mega success, and it's going to be really well received. So, best of luck for that. And honestly, again, thank you so much for today, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your hectic schedule, that very, very, very busy schedule. So, thank you so much for stopping by and having a chat, and welcome back to YouTube. It's great to have you. And so we'll all be watching on, and we look forward to seeing like all your new creations. Thank you so much, Miriam.
You are very welcome. And everybody stay tuned for part 2 because next time I am going to be interviewing Peter.
Yes, look forward to that.
All right. It was so lovely to be before you today. Thank you so much for having me. And hello to everyone in Videoville.
And bye for now. Thank you.
Bye. If you have made it all the way to the end, then you heard the great news. I am coming back. I am going to be releasing another video after this one, releasing my schedule going forward. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And don't forget to subscribe to Peter's channel. Again, I'll put his information at the bottom of the screen. Also, the link to his channel will be in the description box of this video. I love you all so much. I am glad to be back. And until I see you again, stay safe. God bless you. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.